Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Helen and I'm currently a senior in high school. I am going to be attending UCLA this fall, so I'm going to be in the class of 2024 and I'm studying in pre-psychology. Throughout my high school career, it kind of felt like getting into a good college was a formula that you had to follow. Like, you get good grades, you do a lot of extracurriculars, you get a good SAT score, and you get into a good college. Like, it seemed as simple as that. But throughout this whole process, I learned that the college admission process can be really random and just like confusing at times. Just keep in mind that I'm going to be sharing with you what I have done throughout my high school career, but that doesn't mean you'll get the same results if you do exactly the same thing, or you won't get in if you don't do the same thing, if you know what I mean. There's no like one formula that you have to follow. It's all based on a lot of different factors. So I just wanted to remind you that if you're currently a junior or younger and you're thinking of applying to college and you want to know how to get into a good college, my best piece of advice is watch these kind of videos like stats and everything like that, just so you can get inspired and you have a better idea of like the people that got in. But don't take it as like you need to do the same exact things to get into the school. That was just something I wanted to emphasize before I got into this video. Alright, so now that we had that covered, I'm going to be talking about my grades and classes, my I always have a difficulty saying that word, extracurriculars, my AP scores, my SAT score, and the essays I wrote. So looking back at my freshman year, the classes I took were English 9, Geometry, Biology, World History, Computing in the 21st Century, which was like a basic computer class, Mandarin 2, Select Choir, and PE 1. So out of all those classes, I was only able to choose Mandarin 2 and Select Choir, and the rest were all mandatory classes for freshmen. And I got A's for all the classes and in both semesters. So I did 5 extra curricular activities that I put down. The first one is microloans, and that is an organization at my school that loans out money to some of the people in our neighborhood in order to help them start up their business or to help them grow their business. And I was in community service Home for the Age group, and I was in the junior varsity volleyball team. I did a few choir performances at Home for the Age, and I was in CS Fair. I honestly don't know why I put those last two, because it wasn't like a club, but I was just putting in like everything that I've done outside of school. That was my freshman year. Sophomore year, I took English 10, Algebra 2, Physics, AP Human Geography, Media Design, Mandarin 3, Art 1, PE 2, and Health 10. Honestly, my sophomore year was the easiest out of all 4 years of high school, I would say. And also in that year, I got all A's, so I got 4.0. I think only English 10, PE 2, and Health 10 were required, and the rest I was able to choose whatever class I wanted to take. And for my sophomore year, I did a whole lot more of extracurriculars. I was still in microloans for my sophomore year. I did community service, so I switched from Home for the Age to environmental group. I was in student council. I did a strategic planning workshop with my school, which was like meeting with parents, the board of directors, the teachers, principals, and stuff. So we had like a 3-day workshop and we made a plan for the next 3 years. So I was one of the student representatives along with 2 other students, and I volunteered at Mary Chapman School for the Deaf during the summer after sophomore year. I was the designer in La Magnifique, which is a charity fashion show that we host every year at our school, and I was part of the swim team, and I also competed in this art competition, but I didn't win anything, so I didn't put it in my application. Whew, that was a lot. Oh my gosh, I actually did a lot of things in my sophomore year. And moving on to my junior year, I'm not gonna lie, this was a pretty tough year. I took AP Lang, Pre-Calculus and Statistics, AP Physics 1, Intro to Economics, Intro to Computer Science, Art 2, Select Choir, and Life Fitness. And for junior year, I got A's in all of my classes as well. And for my extracurriculars, I was part of student council. I was in the varsity volleyball team. I became the vice president of the community service environmental club, and I was student athlete of the year. Still not sure how I got it, but I'll take it. I was a model at the La Magnifique fashion show, and to fundraise for student council, I led this nail polish booth, so that was a lot of fun. Moving on to my senior year, this is where my high school career did a full 180 and just plot twist. So far, my freshman, sophomore, junior year, I've gotten like straight A's. Here comes senior year. In my hands, I have my transcript for my senior year. which is kind of like heartbreaking, so I don't like to look at it too much. I mean, honestly, it's not like terrible, but for the first semester, for English 12, I got an A. AP Cal, I got a B+. Chemistry, I got an A-. Psychology, I got an A. Digital Art 1, I got an A. AP Drawing, I got a C. And Health 2, I got an A. Yearbook Publishing, I got an A. Yeah, so that resulted in my GPA dropping to 3.6 in my senior year. That was the first semester, and I'm not finished with senior year yet, so currently my grades are not finished. Moving on to the extracurriculars, I did an internship at M Interiors and the Tea Factory during the summer, and I also did a part-time internship at Alchemy Influence during the first 3 months of school. I was the president of the Community Service Environmental Club. I was the community service, wait, why am I saying was? I still am, although technically we're not going to school. The community service, public relations manager, and student council president. Those were my classes, my grades, and my extracurriculars. Moving on, let's talk about AP scores. As you know, in my sophomore year, I took AP Human Geography. That was the only AP that was offered to sophomores, with the exception of, I think, a language AP, and I got a 3 on it. During my junior year, I took AP Lang, so I got a 5 on that. Loved that class. Didn't love it while I was taking it, but I loved it after I finished it. Like, I looked back, I'm like, wow, I'm so happy I took that class because my English improved a lot, my writing and stuff improved so much. And I took AP Physics 1, which was, I felt like a mistake for me because I wasn't even interested in physics. I just took it because I took regular physics the year before, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be easy, you know? But it wasn't, and it required for me to do a lot of work on my own, but I didn't do it too much, so that was pretty challenging, and I got a 3 on that. And this year I'm taking 3 AP exams: AP Cal, AP Psychology, and Drawing. Obviously I haven't taken those yet, so I don't have the scores. Those were my AP scores. And moving on to SAT, so I got a 720 on my English and an 800 on my math. I actually made one mistake on my math section, but they had a curve, so it curved up to 800, which was a good thing. So I did have tutors for SAT, and honestly speaking, I feel like SAT is more about your ability to take the test, like your skill in taking the test, rather than how good you are or how intelligent you are or like how much knowledge you have. And I think for UCLA next year, they're not requiring SAT scores anymore. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what I heard, so that's a good thing because SAT really, as I said, like it doesn't really test anything. It's just a matter of how much time you put into it and how much practice you can do. And I took the SAT one time, and after I got the score of 1520, I was like, oh, like I was really happy in the beginning, and then I was thinking, oh, like I can do better, like I should take it again. And then everyone around me, they were like, are you crazy? Just do something else with your life, like stop, this isn't important for you. And I was like, you know what, that's right, I'm done with SAT. And that was one of the best decisions I made, because looking back, it's not that big of a deal at all. And yeah, I mean, it's totally up to you if you want to take it again, but honestly I don't think it plays too big of a role in getting into a college. So moving on to the last part of this video, which is my essays. So as you know, the UCs have their own application website, so you don't use the Common App like the other American schools, and you have to write 3 different essays for the UCs. I think they gave 8, so you have to choose 3 out of those 8. The first one I chose is number 4, which is describe how you have taken advantage of a significant educational opportunity or worked to overcome an educational barrier you have faced. So I wrote about the strategic planning workshop that I mentioned earlier and how that taught me a lot of things. The second essay I wrote is number 5. Describe the most significant challenge you have faced and the steps you have taken to overcome this challenge. How has this challenge affected your academic achievement? For this, I wrote about my perfectionism, and I didn't realize how this essay connected to the major I was applying, which is psychology, until I was finished with the essay. And then my counselor was proofreading, and she was like, oh, this is actually really interesting because you want to study psychology, and this is like you did your own diagnosis on yourself. And the third essay I did, number 3. What would you say is your greatest talent or skill? How have you developed and demonstrated that talent over time? So I talked about my skill of public speaking and how joining student council did a lot for me, because I learned so much more about talking in public and learning how to project, carry myself, and all those like public speaking skills. if you are interested in reading like my full essays, you can DM me on my Instagram right here, because I don't really feel comfortable with just like putting the essays out in the internet. So yeah, if you're interested, definitely DM me. I'll be happy to share that with you. Before I end this video, I just want to remind you again, because it is that important, that applying to college and getting into the college you want to get into, there is no perfect formula for that. It has a lot to do with your luck as well, and it's just overall, you can't focus on just one thing. Just enjoy your high school life while you're in it, because when you look back, you're gonna regret not hanging out with your friends. You're not gonna regret getting that B on a test. So I just want to emphasize that you need to make the most of what you have. So don't stress out too much on the grades and the numbers. Work hard, strive for your goals, and I wish you the best of luck. I hope you found this helpful, and please let me know if you have any questions, if you're applying to college next year or anytime soon, or I don't know, if you just have any questions for me. I'll be more than happy to answer you. And if you know someone who can benefit from this video, please feel free to share this with them. And with that, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a good day or a good night whenever you're watching this. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!